Obviously, excited about tomorrow. Wisconsin's playing well. Came off of a terrific win versus Michigan State. And you only got 9 regular season games left. So, obviously, very, very important to, take advantage of any opportunity that you get that's in front of you. And obviously, Wisconsin's a terrific opportunity. So, our guys have got to be disciplined, got to play extremely hard for 40 minutes, and able to get a tough win.
When you looked at their team without Davison and Kobe King, what did you notice that they were able to do to kind of still right the ship?
Well, obviously it was, big crowd, important game, nationally televised game, versus number one first place team in the league. They still got a lot of really, really good pieces, where they're older and disciplined, and they played great defense. You got to give them credit, So that was a big win for them. I'm sure it's a momentum, builder for them.
You mentioned being disciplined. Do you say anything to your guys differently or extra in that category, just considering the rivalry, the Davison situation?
We play them every year, so no, nothing extra. They watch all the games. They understand all the storylines and all the narratives just like everybody else does. So we just talk about what we need to do to win the game, and that's really it.
You guys aren't getting a lot from your bench. What do you need to see from them?
We need to see more. I think you looked at last game. I think Isaiah's getting a little confidence, which is great. Trey Williams has confidence. Now it's about, just continue to understand where to get his points and do certain things. But I think he's having a really good freshman year. Jarvis brings great energy. So Michael Hurt was really good off the bench. So, they're bringing things, but, obviously that production part of it is very, very important. And, shooting the basketball obviously is something that we think we're much better than what our numbers are. So just sticking with it.
Is that kind of why Isaiah got a little bit more run than Jarvis's offensive?
Yeah, just it's just trying to see if maybe there's an offensive spark with Isaiah.
Wisconsin's had versatile big men throughout their past few years, but what's different about Reavers this season?
Not a whole lot. I think he's just taking the next step. I think he's been a good player in the league for a couple of years. And now that he's a junior, just confident, put on a little bit more weight. So he's a tough cover down there. He's good offensively, but he's also really good defensively.
What's it like to see Daniel appear on the Wooden Award watch list there, and just kind of how has his game developed this year? Yeah,
I think it's pretty cool. That's quite an accomplishment. Obviously, season's not over or anything like that, but to sit here, where last year he's your third, fourth option, and this year he's your main option, and he's obviously getting some really cool accolades is great. I think that what he's done is he's just taken the next step. I thought he had a good freshman year. He's having a terrific sophomore year, but I know what he wants more than anything over any award is getting back in the NCAA tournament. And there's certainly a lot of the reason that we're even in this conversation has a lot to do with Daniel, but there's still more that he can give as well as everybody else.
Richard, last year you guys went through the transfer thing with Marcus. What's your thoughts on this one-year transfer exemption that came out last week?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's obviously we're moving in a direction of. I think the waiver process is obviously somewhat flawed. Now, we don't know the whole story. We just don't. It's just like in recruiting or anything. We only hear one side of a story. But I think it's I want kids to have rights, and I know there's the argument that if, I took a job somewhere else, I don't get punished. That's not entirely true. There certainly is. If you break a contract, there's certain things. But for student athletes, yes, I don't think they should be restricted if a coach gets fired or certain things like that, to go somewhere and play right away. There's so many different, examples where that should make sense for him to play right away. And obviously trying to evolve and figure that out is very, very important. Maybe that's the step in the right direction. I don't think it's good for college basketball if you can just transfer however you want, wherever you want with no penalty. I just don't. And you know, that's not. I'm not trying to hold back kids by any means, but maybe there's a happy medium there, and maybe that's it.
If you eliminate that deterrent, how much the number of transfers is going to jump, what, exponentially?
Well, it's substantially changing in front of our eyes. You know, guys are transferring. They're not, and I'm not talking about Kobe King from Wisconsin, but guys are not playing in the middle of the season saying, hey, I'm going to go to the NBA, even when they're not even playing a whole lot, or I'm going to go overseas. You know, there's which would never happen before. And I don't know if, like, you know, there's certain guys that, hey, he shouldn't play. Like, they're getting pressure. Like, Cole Anthony's getting pressure not to play for North Carolina because everybody's just talking about money. It's money, 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 NBA. Maybe it's overseas, going to Australia, going somewhere else. You know, we've got to make sure that we're constantly improving the college basketball experience, or guys are going to go somewhere else. But, yeah, I do think there should be somewhat of a deterrent to transfer because, like us all, you know, you're 18, 19 years old, you may not be quite as level-headed, and sometimes they may be right. And a lot of times they may be right. But maybe a little bit of a deterrent. I do think it's a little bit too challenging for them right now. You know, and obviously the waiver process, it seems like it's a little bit flawed.
Is there an update on Peyton?
Yeah, he practiced yesterday a little bit. He'll go some more today, so expect him back.
When you have a guy like him that had such a good start to the year, and then with the injury, he's kind of been hard to get over that hump, and you need the shooting ability. I mean, is that where Trey comes in? And then, you know.
Yeah, he's clearly been hobbled, you know, and I think he lost a step a little bit when that ankle injury happened because he was really a nice option, shooting the ball very, very well. And he's just been kind of swimming upstream a little bit, you know, so hopefully, you know, shoulder obviously, maybe that ankle healed, and now we can get him back confident. You know, it's his left shoulder, so maybe that won't affect him as much. But, yeah, very, very important for us to have him because he's another – you know, he's got experience for one, which is very, very important, and he can hit some shots.
I think it was beneficial for everybody, not just Peyton, to get an extended break between these last two games and just get a mental reset.
Yeah. I mean, we played a lot of games in the month of January. You know, every team, I think, gets 2 bye weeks. We haven't had any yet. You know, you'd love one in January, February, March. Just doesn't work out that way with the schedule. So that was it was a long month with a lot of good moments, a lot of tough moments, you know, and it's a grind when you're playing that many games, especially with our strength of schedule in the conference. So, yeah, it was a good little break, you know, but obviously excited about, you know, some really good opportunities in front of us.
With Daniel, he can get fired up on the court at times. What have you sort of observed about him and how he's learned to channel those emotions, like, for good and not?
Yeah, I mean, he's emotional in a good way. I think that Daniel, you know, he's got a youthful exuberance about him where he wants to dunk and then he wants to yell into the student section, and you know, he wants to flex when he makes a wide open layup. You know, he does those things, and good for him. But that's part of playing college basketball. You know, doing it the right way. You know, so. Have fun, you know, but, you know, obviously there's been some learning experiences as well where he's got to be a little bit smarter. You know, the biggest thing with all this, as you watch any sport, is, you know, how can you compete at an insanely high level and try to go at your opponent the right way, you know, and obviously you get great examples of it, you know, every night when you turn on the TV.
Where does Isaiah's confidence come as the season's gone?
You know, I was just talking to our strength coach. I mean, he's put on about 20 pounds, and I think you can visibly, if you look at him, he's put on weight. Credit to him because he's committed to doing it. You know, and then sticking with it. You know, he had a lot of games where he didn't play much, and I told him stick with it. We're still excited about you. We still believe in you. You know, and obviously he came in last game, hit a big 3. You know, his length is important defensively. He covers a lot of ground, you know, and the more weight that he puts on, he's able to guard some of those 4 men because some teams are going to play 2 bigs in this league, and it's very, very challenging. So, you know, you're constantly showing them other freshmen who didn't play a lot, getting them to understand, like stay the course, keep getting better, and he's done that. He works very hard.
Anything else? Good. All right.
Thanks.
All righty. Thank you.
Enjoy your lunch.